Morning. President Trump announcing overnight there will be no State of the Union address until the shutdown is over. This new development comes as the Senate tries to end the shutdown today.
T12's Tricia Hendricks joins us live at Studio 12A this morning. So, Tricia, what is in these two bills? What makes them different from one another?
Well, Emma, Paul, it's going to require quite a bit of compromise to get the government reopened. But here's what today's two big votes are all about. Now, one offers immigrant protections in exchange for funding President Trump's border wall. The other one opens the government temporarily to negotiate border security. There are strong opinions on both sides.
He shouldn't cave in to liberal Democrat demands.
If we can get government open for 15 days, we can be here around the clock and we can find a solution to this.
Neither is expected to pass, and pressure to reopen the government continues to mount. Now, air traffic controllers, pilots, and flight attendants say they're worried about safety with a record number of TSA workers calling out sick. So a lot of folks impacted by all of this. 5 former Homeland Security secretaries, including 3 who worked for Republicans, say national security is at stake. At least one Senate Republican crossed party lines and is expected to vote for the Democrat plan today. So Paul, they need 12 more to move it all forward.
All right, we'll see what happens. Thanks, Tricia.